Following on from my video showing you how to make a one colour granny square the Little Dove way, in this video I will show you how to make a granny square using a different colour for each round. For this tutorial you will need scissors, a crochet hook and 4 different colour yarns. I'm using acrylic DK yarn and a 4mm hook, but of course you can use whichever yarn and hook you feel comfortable with. You will need to be familiar with slip knots, slip stitches, chains, double crochets and treble crochets, and just a reminder that I am using UK terms throughout the tutorial. First of all, make a slip knot and pop it onto your hook. Make 1 chain and just pull it a little bit tighter, and then make 3 more chains. So you'll have 4 chains in total to start. Next, make a treble into the first chain that you made. And that first chain is going to become the centre of your granny square. Make another treble into that same chain. And make 1 chain. Make 3 more trebles into that same chain, so you can see that's now becoming the centre of our square. So 3 more trebles into that one. That's the second one. And the third treble. Oops. One more chain and 3 more trebles into that centre. One more chain and then 3 more trebles into the centre. One more chain and then slip stitch to the top of the first chains that you made to close your round. Okay. Snip your yarn and fasten off. And that's your first round done. It looks a little bit like a circle at this point. That's absolutely fine. As you do more rounds, it will start to become more square. For round 2, take your next colour, make a slip knot and pop it onto your hook. Now before we start round 2, we're going to turn our work and work from the wrong side of round 1. The reason that I do this is to keep my tension straight. What I find is if I don't turn the work over before I start every round, gradually my natural tension will pull the square one way and it will look slightly skewed. So to keep it nice and straight, just turn your work and work from the other side on every round. So you've turned your work over, pop your hook into a chain space, pull a loop through, yarn over, make a double crochet and 1 chain. And that double crochet and 1 chain will count as my first treble. Make another treble into the same space and another treble into the same space. So you've now got effectively 3 trebles all in that same space. Make 1 chain, which will become your corner, and make 3 more trebles into the same space. And you've completed your first corner on round 2. Move along to the next chain space and work 3 trebles, one chain and 3 more trebles all into that same space. Move around to the next chain space and do the same again. So 3 trebles, one chain and 3 trebles. Move round to your last chain space and repeat the process again. So 3 trebles, one chain and 3 trebles. Now join your round with a slip stitch to the top of the first stitch that you made in the round. Snip your yarn and fasten off. And now you can see that your circle is now turned into a more square shape. We're now going to move on to round 3. So take the next colour that you want to use for your square, make a slip knot and pop it onto your hook. Once again, turn your work over and work from the other side so that you can keep your square nice and straight as you work. Pop your hook into any of the corner spaces, make a double crochet and 1 chain, that counts as your first treble. Make 2 more trebles into that same space. One chain and 3 more trebles into that same chain space. And that's your first corner formed. Move along to the next chain space, which is this one here, and work 3 trebles into that space. Move along to the next space, and this one's a corner, so make your corner process, which is 3 trebles, one chain, 3 trebles into that space, move along to the next space, which is along the side here, and work 3 trebles into that space. Round to the next corner space and make 3 trebles, one chain, 3 trebles, into the next side chain space, work 3 trebles, and then round to the last corner and work your 3 trebles, one chain, 3 trebles, and then we're round to our last chain space along the side here and work 3 trebles into that one. join the round by slip stitching to the top of the first stitch that you made. Snip your yarn and fasten off. We'll now move on to round 4, which is worked in the same way as round 3. So you'll work 3 trebles, 1 chain, 3 trebles into each of the corner chain spaces and 3 trebles into each of the chain spaces along the sides. So once again, make a slip knot and pop it on your hook. And remember to turn your work over and work from the other side. Now I generally like to join the next round into a corner chain space. It just feels right to do that, but there isn't really a wrong or right. You could start along one of the side chains if you wanted to. It really doesn't make a lot of difference. So make your double crochet and 1 chain and then 2 more trebles, 1 chain and 3 trebles to make your corner. Move along to the next chain space along the side and make 3 trebles. Next chain space, make 3 more trebles. And then you've reached your corner again, so make your corner stitches. So that's 3 trebles, 1 chain, 3 trebles. So that's our first side done. And then we're going to continue working all the way around until we get to the beginning of the round. So 3 trebles in each of the chain spaces along the sides, and then 3 trebles, 1 chain, 3 trebles into each of the corner spaces. So I'm going to get that done now, and I'll meet you once we get towards the beginning of the round. So I'm just making my last treble into the last space, and then I'm going to join with a slip stitch to the top of the first stitch that I made. Snip your yarn and fasten off. Now what I like to do at this point is just pull through all the ends through to the one side, ready for them to be woven in on the reverse. And there's your nice square, granny square. Now if you were wanting to make your granny square bigger, then you would just continue making subsequent rounds in exactly the same way. So 3 trebles, 1 chain, 3 trebles into your corners and 3 trebles along each space along the sides. Thank you very much for watching my video. For more crochet tutorials, visit my channel. Don't forget to subscribe. To keep up to date with what I'm making, follow Little Dove Crochet on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, bye!